The weight of loss, a deeper descent into darkness. Darth Vader, a name whispered in fear across the galaxy, a chilling reminder of the dark side's seductive power, a figure shrouded in darkness, an enigma wrapped in armor, a prisoner of his own making. But beneath the cold, unyielding exterior, behind the mask that became his prison, resided Anakin Skywalker, a man consumed by loss, driven by a pain so profound it reshaped his very being, twisting his noble aspirations into instruments of fear and oppression. The death of Padme Amidala was the cataclysm that shattered Anakin's world, the final blow that crumbled the foundations of his already fragile psyche. It wasn't simply the loss of a wife, but the annihilation of hope itself, the extinguishing of the last vestiges of light within him. The prophecy of him bringing balance to the Force, once a beacon of his destiny, became a cruel, ironic jest, a mocking reminder of his failure. He believed, with every fiber of his being, that he had failed her, failed his unborn child, failed his mother, failed the Jedi Order, failed the Republic, failed everything he held sacred. The weight of these accumulated failures became an unbearable burden, crushing him under its immense pressure. Padme's final words, a desperate, loving plea for the man she knew resided within the monster he had became a burning ember in the heart of Darth Vader, a constant torment, a flicker of light in the overwhelming darkness, a whisper of hope in the deafening roar of his despair, a reminder of the love he had thrown away. But the pain was too raw, the wound too deep, the guilt too consuming. He buried that ember, convinced that the good in him was irrevocably gone, extinguished by his own terrible actions. He built walls around his heart, brick by agonizing brick, to protect himself from the agony of remorse, the unbearable weight of his sins. Emperor Palpatine, a master manipulator, a puppeteer of souls, recognized the depth of Anakin's despair. He didn't just see it. He cultivated it, nurtured it, stoked the flames of his hatred and self-loathing, whispering lies that resonated with Anakin's deepest fears. He offered insidious promises of power, of control over life and death itself, of a way to rewrite the past, to undo the tragedy that had broken him. He offered Vader a twisted path, a dark, seductive reflection of the love he had lost, a perversion of his desire to save Padme, a corrupt bargain with the dark side. What happened to Anakin Skywalker, and why did he turn into Darth Vader? The guilt gnawed at him incessantly, a relentless tormentor. He knew, deep down in the recesses of his tortured soul, that his fear, his desperation to save Padme, had ultimately led him to commit the ultimate betrayal. He had become the very thing he swore to destroy. The monster he had feared, the embodiment of the dark side. He had traded love for power, compassion for cruelty, hope for despair, all in a futile attempt to escape the pain. He embraced the darkness, not out of true conviction, but out of a desperate, futile attempt to numb the unbearable pain, to silence the whispers of his conscience, the haunting memories of Padme's love and forgiveness, the echoes of his mother's suffering. He became Darth Vader, the Emperor's enforcer, a symbol of fear and oppression, a figure of terror across the galaxy, a mask to hide the broken man beneath. But in the quiet moments, in the solitude of his meditation chamber, surrounded by the technology that kept him alive, the memory of Padme lingered, a ghost of a life lost, a constant, agonizing reminder of the man he once was, the love he had destroyed, and the future he had sacrificed. The pain was his constant companion, a reminder of his failures, a fuel for his rage. The weight of loss. It was a burden he carried for decades, a weight that fueled his rage, defined his existence, and ultimately paved the way for his redemption. It was the key to understanding the tragedy of Darth Vader, the tragedy of Anakin Skywalker, a tragedy born of love, fear, and the devastating consequences of choices made in desperation.